Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Pretty Hands Mah Jongg readings. This reading is for my water signs, Pisces, Scorpios, Cancers for the week of December 31st, 2018, y'all. The last week of December, last week of the year, never would have made it. So yes, and it has been a rough one indeed. So yeah, this is should be exciting. Okay, let's see. So what are the major themes for my water signs for the last week of December, y'all? What they got going into the first week of 2019? 3 bamboo toad. Ooh, fire. 6 bamboo lotus. Okay, it's a little nippy out here. It's a little nippy. Okay, so first off, the angel number is 365. So please look that up and see if the message resonates with you. Okay, so we got the 3 bamboo toad. This represents overambition, putting all your eggs in one basket, kind of gassing yourself up, gassing up a situation, not really seeing the truth of a situation. It can also mean healing. Now this is good because our water signs have been getting this card, or at least this message of healing, a lot. It's been coming through the bamboo as well. So here we have the toad looking up. He's hopeful, right? He's also in front of the moon too, which represents a pull on the emotions. It makes sense for my water signs. And he's really thinking, he's contemplating, right? Is he thinking too big? Is he putting his sights in the wrong place? We'll have to clarify, but there's definitely some healing and at least some ambitions in the first place and some hope. 6 wand fire. So this card can be danger. Of course, it can mean a literal fire. It can also mean passion. It can mean drama. It can mean intelligence. I right now cannot tell you what that card means because I'm gonna have to clarify, considering the fact that it's near the toad card. Because you could be burning away things that no longer serve you, or you could be using your intelligence to navigate some things that some ambitions that you have that are probably a little too small for you, or I'm sorry, too big for you right now, winding out the year. Just as interesting. 5 bamboo lotus. So this represents rebirth. This represents a literal birth of a child, but an awakening, a reawakening. The lotus grows out of muddy water, but it blossoms into a very beautiful flower. It also represents mysticism, which we would expect, again, coming from water signs. Water signs are mystics, definitely. So we have 2 bamboo suits. This is interesting because this typically deals with relationships, human things, as we're closing out the year. But we have this fire card in between. So that makes me wonder if there's going to be some issues that you have involving a child, involving the birth of a child, or a child that's already here. Maybe some over ambitions with how you want a situation to go, involving a domestic situation. It could also mean healing and burning away parts of you, parts of yourself, so that you can come out as a new person, so that you can be rebirthed into the true person that you are. Now I have a hunch about this, the direction of this, but I want to see if some other cards come up first before I speak on it. All right, let's clarify the 3 bamboo toad, please. Okay, you got 2 wand sword, commence, 7 bamboo tortoise. This tortoise will not leave y'all alone, but we like it. I mean, tortoise ain't a bad card. All right, 2 wand sword, making a decision, cutting somebody off or something off. You cannot move forward without making a decision. I love that card because it is not ambiguous at all. It lets you know, hey, you just got to make a decision. You got to cut somebody off. So then you have the commerce card. Now this is cool. I'm sorry, it says commerce. It's commence. The commence card. Commerce is green. It can have to do with money, but typically it represents the arrow about to leave the bow. So this is cool because this is saying, once you make a decision, right, you will be starting some new things, but you got to make the decision first. Now this is all coming from this toad card, which shows me that this toad card goes into your being overly ambitious about something. It looks like a relationship. It looks like you want more out of a relationship with possibly a fire sign, possibly an Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo, but you reaching too far, you asking for too much too soon, and you have to make a decision. Cut the person off Possibly, but definitely make a decision so that you can start your new beginning, so that you can launch something new, because the arrow hasn't left the bow yet, right? So it's ready, its potential energy is there, but the action hasn't taken place yet. And right after that, we have the 7 bamboo tortoise. So the 7 bamboo tortoise represents wisdom, success in examinations, patience, slow and steady wins the race. So usually when the tortoise card comes up, look y'all, it's so distracting, I'm sorry. Usually when the tortoise card comes up, it means that you are unhappy with the way that something is going, right? At the slow pace at which something is progressing. But the tortoise means that things are progressing, even though it may not seem like they are. They're moving slowly. It wants you to know that you acquire wisdom and knowledge in moving slowly, right? Haste makes waste. This is the opposite of that. So this is saying keep your head up, right? Have hope. Move slowly over your obstacles. Look, the tortoise is walking over these rocks, but he's getting over them, right? They may hurt his feet, they may be hard, but the message is that he's still getting over them. He's just moving slowly. He's not rushing it. So right off, that's telling me that there's a relationship. You're going to have to make a decision. You're not getting what you want out of it. And you're going to have to make a decision in order to start something new. But then it's still going to take time either way. So you got to be patient. Okay, let's clarify this fire card, because that's really what I want to know. For real, for real. Orchid. So you got a guardian. So some issues, which no fear. Oh, no fear at all, because I already told you you're going to have some issues. So we not scared. We ain't never scared, because we already know. And then we got the East card too. So this is a nice clean way to bring it all together. So it's not so scary. Okay, so in clarifying the fire card, first of all, you got the orchid. The orchid is a guardian. It represents protection for young girls, protection from mental illness, protection from drama, domestic situations, drugs. It represents something precious, because the orchid is a very precious card. It's a precious flower. I'm sorry. So it protects you. It's saying that you're protected in your drama with your environment. So y'all got something going on, water signs, with where you live. It looks like your environment. It could be where you work or play, but this isn't the house. This is the earth. So this represents your environment, your immediate environment. It can also represent land. So maybe where you live, not particularly the house you live in, but the neighborhood you live in. Not particularly the job you work at, but the area of where your job is, right? Not your home, but your city, your country. So you have some issues with that. Looks like with a person. Looks like with in a relationship. Does not have to be romantic. It can be platonic. It can be familial. But you have the orchid here saying we are going to protect you through this, right? You have some issues going on in your environment, but the orchid is here to tell you don't worry about it. We are protecting you. There's something precious in your environment that needs to be protected, and they got you. The guardians have it. 4 bamboo carp. So again, we are back into the bamboo suits. It has to do with a relationship, this fire card. So the carp represents patience, like the tortoise, but it's also relief after having dealt with anxiety, or we just had a problem, anxiety or stress, depression, things like this. So the carp comes and he says everything is going to be okay. He's wise. He's a sage. Be patient. You will get through it. Do not fire through this. Do not feed into the drama, right? Just stay calm. Stay chill, like water signs usually are anyway. He has his abundance. The fish are coming to him. So things that are supposed to happen are happening. He's just being patient and letting the rough winds pass, so to speak. And with the carp right under the commence, I think that's interesting too, because you have a new situation that is about to get started that has been birthed directly from your ability to let go of the thing that was causing you stress and anxiety. So that's good. That's positive and optimistic. And then we have the East card, you, right? What you are able to do to change this, what your role is in this situation, again, going back to the decision that you have to make. So this is saying ultimately you are in control. Not only are you in control, but you are being protected. You are being protected. It's going to take patience. There will be a rebirth happening, but ultimately you have to make a decision. It's okay. I mean, a little backsliding, water signs, but I mean, who don't? But ultimately, you still are in control. You still have the power. So let's clarify the Lotus card to wrap this on up. So clarify the Lotus, please. East card again. Cards start repeating. It's a good thing. Okay, and then we got North. Not particularly excited to end on a North card, to be honest, but we'll make it work. Okay, so you have the East card again and clarifying this. So this rebirth is within you. This is good, water signs. This is great. You start a new year, new you. You're making decisions. You are reawakening into who you are, what you want to accomplish, how you want to show up in the world. Stepping into your true self. So this is a rebirth internally for yourself. That is good. We like that. This is also a good card. Six Circles Peach represents feminine beauty, feminine interests, the arts. She's wealthy. She's extravagant. She is a young girl. So for yourself, it could be, if you are a young girl, this definitely represents you. Now the peach can also represent a rival. So keep that in mind too. If this situation, this domestic situation that you have to make a decision about, it has something to do with a third party. But if it does not, then we are talking about you getting back to who you are, your artsy side. Water signs are super creative. They are very contemplative. So this is you getting back to creating. You getting back to your beauty, your god or goddess nature. So we like that. Now here's this. Yeah, this is the North card. It represents poverty. It represents distress, cold weather, like we have it now. Now, because we are clarifying the Lotus card, I'm not too nervous about it. It's just saying that as you get in tune with yourself, as you make this decision to start these new beginnings, you must have patience. You must not allow your environment to I say sway keeps coming to my head. So to sway or to influence the decision that you know that you have to make, to throw off the healing that you know has to take place and that is taking place, right? With the overambition too, I think that the decision that you make has to be made with yourself in mind. And I know we talked about that in another reading as well, right? Don't worry about how other people will be influenced, right? This is really about you, because we have the East. It's like you focus on yourself. With the North card, clarifying the Lotus though, you could have some issues. So, and that's okay. That's normal. As you get into who you want to be and as you make this decision to really step into yourself, there is going to be some pushback from some other people, obviously, who do not benefit from you stepping into your greatness, who do not benefit from you really claiming who you are and proclaiming your goals for your life and your intent to heal and your intent to make a decision. So just be mindful of that as you go into the first week of 2019. Otherwise, I mean, everything looks good, water signs, but just be mindful of a rival, like I said, third party situation, or if somebody trying to take you away from yourself. That's what that looks like to me. Somebody trying to take you out of your element, and bring drama into your life. Interesting. Toad, fire, and Lotus. Okay, so y'all got some domestic situations going. Now let's see how this message pertains to the individual signs. We will start with Scorpio. Scorpio. Because I know I usually do Scorpios last. So, see, Scorpio, I ain't forget about you. Which last week we did Cancer last, but. So how does a general reading pertain to our Scorpios, please? Two circles pine. Okay. This represents a young man. Now remember, in the general reading we had a young girl. So this could be a romantic situation, a domestic situation where you have to make a decision, where you're being overly ambitious for what you want and what you can expect out of this person. Could be, again, a fire sign. But here, Scorpio, realize that the pine represents strength, right? So be strong. The last card of the general reading was North. So you're going to have some problems in making this decision, in this healing, in stepping into who you are. Be strong like the pine card. This also represents contemplation, right? This is the beginning of the year. So really take time out to think about what you want and focus on you. The East card came up twice in the general reading. Focus on what you want. Write it down if you have not. Write your resolutions, your vision boards, your affirmations. Focus, contemplate, think before you act. Do not let anybody take you out of your element. Make the decisions that need to be made. Remember that the pen is mightier than the sword, right? So once the decision is made, it's made. Nobody can throw you out of your element unless you allow them to, Scorpio. Write it down. Think about it. Stand strong in your truths. Now, if your situation is a domestic situation, and this represents a young man, and he is also thinking about the moves that he wants to make, right? Because you got to make a decision. There's a domestic situation. Your environment, you got to switch it up. So this, because he represents strength and a young man and a good young man, then that means that if you are a girl listening to this and it's a romance, then he's thinking about some stuff too, right? He got a decision to make as well. So you're not the only one. That's that. Interesting. Start of the year for my water signs. All right, who's next? Cancer. How does the general message pertain to my Cancers? 4 circle jade. Hard work. Gonna have to work hard. Making this decision. Healing. Dealing with this overambition. This also represents perseverance. Push through it. The last card was North. Y'all gonna have some problems, right? That's to be expected. But it's all good because you are in control. So you must persevere, Cancer. You have to do that. It's all up to you. The decision that has to be made, you have to make it, right? The jade is a very precious thing, and you had the orchid come up in the general reading, right? The jade is precious. It takes years and years sometimes of toiling to get it to where it needs to be, and that's where you are, right? Be patient. Slow and steady wins the race. Persevere, Cancer, right? Make the decision. Don't look back. Stand true to who you are. And then you're going to come out like this beautiful jade. Done. Cancer, done. And finally, our Pisceans. So how does the general message pertain to my Pisces, please? 7 circles insect. Busy, right? Take action, Pisces. Makes moves, Pisces. Don't stress. Insect is saying, situation ain't as heavy as you might think. That's a good thing because you got to make a pretty big decision this week. It also represents things that are short-lived, short-term, right? 9-day wonder. Like, okay, you had the North card at the end, so this might stress you out making this decision, dealing with this, whatever relationship it is that you have to make a decision about, but it's not going to last long. The stress won't last long. Stay patient, stay in your element, but make a move nonetheless. Don't let anybody sway you. Know that your fate is up to you, regardless of what people will lead you to believe, Pisces. Make move, take action. That's your message. All right, y'all. Happy New Year, water signs. Happy New Year. Thank you for listening. Peace out.